To do a quick introduction.
Yeah, hi there. Excuse me. After all that, Mark Godley from Lydiard Park Academy, and I worked with Sue and the team from Career Pilot to work towards my level 6 last year. So the Pathway Planner was quite a big part of that project. So Sue's asked me to just share some experiences today.
Great, thank you, Mark. And I know we've got Kath is here from Ashton Park, and Luke from Brimsham Green, and also I think Mel might have had to go from Ralph Allen. So they were all our pilot schools. So just a quick bit about the Pathway Planner. This came out of a bid we made to the Careers and Enterprise Company for funding around Gatsby 8. And we had to propose a new way of delivering personal guidance. So we've developed a model that includes triage. We piloted it in 6 schools. And in those 6 schools, we also trained somebody up to the level 6 diploma in careers guidance. So the model is now available to roll out to other schools. So it starts with a pre-guidance 1-hour session, which is in an IT room using Career Pilot, but the students run through all the options. So there might have been lots of things that have happened to prepare them for they understand their options, but on this one day, making sure they do understand what the different things are. They then get some time to explore Career Pilot and the ones they're interested in, and then they do the Pathway Planner. And the Pathway Planner asks them which pathway they want to do, or which 1 or 2 or 3, and then they do a little quiz, and that enables them to get a How Ready Am I score through a red, amber, green tag, and that data can then be used by the careers leader, guidance advisor, to allocate guidance according to need. And then about 3-4 weeks later, the tutors follow up by asking 3 questions. It's quite quick to do, and then they can put them back into other guidance, like an additional drop-in or whatever. And in our model, 1 lunchtime a week was a drop-in session. The students could also request e-guidance or self-refer through the system after that first session that was set up by the Pathway Planner. So I'm going to show you just quickly. Yeah, that's the big message. The early adopters one-off payment offer ends on November the 30th. So if you want to get in for this year, then you need to think about doing that now. And it will be more expensive next year. Okay, so at the end of that 1-hour structured session, it's decided to go off on its own. Sorry about that. The students do the Pathway Planner, which appears here if you're a Pathway Planner school. They get to see their options. Oh, sorry, I don't know why it's on its own little way here. Oh, try and hold on to it. They choose the pathways they're interested in, so definite, considering, not doing. And then they do a quiz about each one. And the quiz, it's doing this thing, I don't know why. Are questions about the pathways they're interested in. They can say, yes, I'm definitely want to go to university. I know a course subject I want to apply to or whatever. And that creates a red, amber, green score for them. Oh, sorry. And then it determines different levels of guidance that they might require. So if they green, they usually got 20 minutes, which is just a check of their plan. Amber, 30 minutes, or 60 minutes if they were definite about pathway and really would show in red, or they had additional needs, or were thinking about apprenticeships, because those are quite complicated things. And then at the back end in the reporting zone, you can see all that data. So you can allocate guidance according to need, and you can do a whole load of other stuff there as well. You can view their answers, their timeline. You can book guidance. You can write a summary of where they are after guidance. The tutor follow-up shows up here. And you can also add advisor comments, which is like an advisor report. So that's a quick overview. I'm going to stop there. Hopefully he's going to stop. He seems to be off in his own way. And pass across to Mark, because he's a practitioner. And I asked Mark if he'd just talk about, the benefits he's found of using the Pathway Planner as a careers leader, careers advisor. Okay, Mark?
Yeah, thanks, Sue. Hi, everybody. Just a sort of quick little bit of background information. Our current year 11 have just pretty much all completed their Pathway Planner. We managed to get we've got a cohort of about 224. And we did this by showing the pre-guidance video that Sue previously talked about. And then we actually allowed the students to complete their Pathway Planner using their phones in their tutor bases. And that obviously allowed for students not moving around trying to find IT rooms and all those kinds of things. So it's really suitable to use online using a mobile version as well. From that information, essentially what that does for me as a practitioner is it allows me to identify using that sort of red, amber, green system, students that may need, a very early conversation in terms of their guidance. So I can actually use all of that data from a downloaded spreadsheet and sort of manipulate that data to suit my own purposes. And the three areas that we look at, and we very much focus, obviously, like most schools at the moment, pupil premium, looked after children, disadvantaged, and then of course the students actually that don't necessarily fall into that category, but have indicated through the pathway plan and they've got a clue what they're going to do. And then we're able to step in and then obviously offer the guidance from that perspective. So it really does that for me, it isn't a one size fits all. And that's the great thing. I can very much sort of tailor it to the individual pupil. Once you've had the guidance as well, then obviously you can update the pathway planner. And then they can kind of move themselves forward around if they feel a bit more confident with certain aspects, whether it's apprenticeships or college, vocational, etc. One of the things that we found with our post 18 specifically was one of the sections on there is about a gap year. And what was interesting was that we found that a majority of the students kind of liked this idea of a gap year, but didn't really know what it entailed. From that perspective, I was then actually able to do an assembly to the whole of year 12 and talk to them about a gap year. And what that did is that actually then saved me time, kind of repeating myself over and over to all of our year 12 cohorts. So there was another sort of benefit that I hadn't thought of, but it just sort of came about as a result of the data that we got from the spreadsheet. So I think that pretty much covers it, Sue, really. I think I hopefully that sort of explains it's a really useful tool. It's very much sort of embedded in our program now. And it very much allows you to really kind of focus on the ones that definitely need that initial guidance. And that's not to say that you miss the others, of course, because they all need it. But you can kind of really sort of focus your time, etc. Especially with somebody like myself who's still teaching as well. So.
Okay, thanks for that, Mark. It's great. And we did a lot of evaluation of the project, and on our advisor zone there's a tile called Careers and Enterprise Company bid, and there's the case studies from the schools, there's a research project, all sorts of things. But I just want to tell you quickly how you can get involved if you want to find out more about it. What we do is do what we call introductory webinars. So there's no commitment to have it, is to find out more. And actually we'll show you things in a bit more detail than we have tonight. And if you want to sign up for a webinar, it's in the advisor zone. There's a tile called the Pathway Planner. And then you'll see our webinar dates. You can see there's one coming up this week, November the 11th, and then December the 2nd. And if you decide that that is of interest to you after our webinar, you can actually register, and then there's a more formal training where we show you how to set up groups. And it might be this year you pilot it with a year group and then or two, and then maybe you can roll it out next year. That's really what we did through the pilot. No, I'm just telling you about that, and also to say again, the Future Quest are funding their schools for access to the Pathway Planner. If you're a target school from Future Quest, and also the WIN will help with that too. So, but just remember what we were saying, that this offer is only open till 30th of November. And if you are paying for it yourself, it's a one-off cost of $249, and that is one-off. But if you're at a college, we've got a college version now as well, it's $400. But if you want to know more, just get in touch with me. Okay, so if you want to ask him a question to Mark, he's still here, so put your hand up if you do, and you can ask a question. I'll come along to one of our webinars. Great. Okay. Well, Mark is still here, so type something in chat if you want to ask anything. Okay, so we've done, I think this is our fourth lockdown. We still seem to be in lockdown. Don't know how long that's going to go on. There might be lockdown 3 and lockdown 4, who knows. So we thought we'd just get your feedback, really. Do we want to carry on and having this sort of session, which is really about once a month, once every 6 weeks, and what topics would be interesting to you, and if you've got any specific ideas, we'd love to know whether these sessions are useful to you, what you'd like to have. Some ideas we've got is that most of the universities have got quite extensive widening participation programs, and in the past they had to do them face to face, and that was a more limited offer. But because now they're offering online, they are a bit more open. So in terms of Gatsby 7 encounters with higher education, we could get some of the universities to come and talk about what their offer is. So, let me know with those interesting ideas, or type something in. Virtual work experience, James has talked about. Shared ideas next time, please. Yeah, we could certainly talk about some of, I think the speakers for school, it might be worth getting a bit of an update on that one, because they have some opportunities. And like I said earlier, we are collating what some we're finding. If you've got more to add to that list, it'd be really good to have that. I know Mark's got to head off to another meeting, but he's very happy to pick up on any questions you might have about the Pathway Planner. Anybody else got any other ideas? Virtual work experience come up again there. Okay, thanks, Katrina. That's useful. Yeah, that would be great, Kate, to have somebody from Future Quest to talk. And I think I've been talking a bit to Pete about getting some stuff up on Career Pilot about the offer as well. So then we've got a few universities now who are saying, they have an offer. So it'd be quite good to actually maybe get them to talk about that a little bit. So there's plenty to be going on with, really. Okay, so I take it that, they are useful, and it's worth carrying on. I wondered about doing the next one after Christmas rather than try and squish one in December. So if anybody's got any thoughts about the timing of it or what we should do, just send things in. Or if you want a slot, this is a shared session, nobody owns it really. I collate it with Louise, but it's an open session. So if you've got anything that you want to contribute, that you want to share with other practitioners, then we're very happy to give you a session. Okay, well, like I say, get in touch. There's the Career Pilot helpline, which is careerpilot@bath.ac.uk if you want to ask a question, or if you want to propose something for a future meeting, then you could do it through that, or just email me directly. And I'm going to send you a follow-up out. I'm going to send you some links to some of the events that are coming up that Gillian mentioned, and what else have I got my link? Various other things that I've been writing down as we go through. So we will get this presentation and any other useful links. So if you've said something today that you would like to share with other people, send it to me. And also if you didn't say something, but you've got something to share, then just send it to me, which is sl200@bath.ac.uk, and then I can send it out. And we have recorded these, so we'll try to cut them into shorter videos for people to be able to access. Okay, is there anything else anybody wants to say? Well, I'm so relieved that my IT held up with my dodgy telephone line outside and my hotspotting from my phone for Wi-Fi. So miracles do happen. Okay, well, thanks everybody for your contributions and just for being part of the event. So I'll be around for a few more minutes, but do feel free to leave.
Take care, everyone. Cheers.
Cheers, James. Thank you.
Bye.
Thanks, bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you very much, Sue.
Thanks, Gillian. It's really useful to have your input.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing what people are doing, really.
Really, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
On top of probably teaching as well. So it's
indeed.
It is amazing,
indeed.
Isn't it? So it's good to have that roundup of all the things that are happening, I think. Great.
When you mentioned about, you're collating virtual work experience things on Career Pilot, that needs to happen somewhere. It's silly to do it in two different places. So I think maybe a conversation with you about anything, making sure anything that comes our way we feed to you.
Yeah, happy to do that. We just, we were doing it because we were running events about preparing for work experience, and we just try to pull out what we can. So if you hear of anything, just let us know and we can post it up.
Brilliant. And the event that you did you record it? Is it on Career Pilot somewhere?
Which event?
Yeah, the one on preparing virtual works.
Yeah, well, what we did, we did a range of things because we were worried about the technology on the event. So what I've done is like a video recording of my event. So it was the idea was if it didn't work as a live event, then one of the classes could actually play the video of me delivering it. So I've got that as I mean, it's obviously done for this particular school.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be adapted, I suppose, for another school. But I've got the presentation.
Yeah, it'd be really interesting to have a look at that if I can.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Thank you.
The other thing that worked really well was the parents session. We did the Choices 16 session for parents in one school. I mean, we can only work with the WIN schools because they're paying us to do that sort of thing. But, we have, obviously that presentation is available too. But that was quite, it's quite a useful way to get across all those different pathways to parents. We had good feedback about that one.
Yeah, no, that's really good. Thank you ever so much. I'll get out of the way.
See you, Gillian. Thank you. Bye.
There we go. That was
all right, Sean.
Yeah, that was good.
Was it? Oh, yeah. Good. Yeah, good.
Actually more it's more beneficial than the last one. Weirdly, I think people are more confident with things now, haven't they?
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, I mean, it's really nice to get down to the practitioner level, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
The last one was a bit more LMI, which obviously is useful too, but it's actually really interesting hearing what people are doing. If we can actually, sharing resources, and like Gillian's saying, if we could post them up on Career Pilot, and that becomes another vehicle for people getting access to things that might support them, that'd be good. That'd be good, really.
Yeah.
Good.
Definitely.
Had an okay day?
Yeah, good.
Busy.
Productive, I think. It's just getting the nitty gritty of formatting, but it's like once I've sent you a couple of things just whilst I was just listening, but once the format and those things are sorted, they'll be generally easy to pull together because I've just done one quicker than any of the others, and it's easy to change a couple of bits rather than put a whole whole thing together. So I've got the 2 A's and 2 B's ready to go, and I'll start doing that, and I'll do it through MailChimp for the 3's first, and then see how we get on with that.
Good. Okay, great. So, I mean, for MailChimp, the only thing is all their addresses will need to be in there. What?
All the addresses need pulling over, is that right?
Yeah, I think have a word with Joe about how to do that, because normally it happens when they request something, because there is some GDPR issues about adding things. They're supposed to sort of subscribe to the list. I mean, they, if they subscribe to our webinars, I usually stick them on. But if these are 3 A's and 3 B's and not subscribing to anything, it might be a bit more tricky. But, I have a chat to Joe. She might know more than I do.
Yeah, sure, I will do. I'm going to get in touch with her tomorrow and just get a few bits sort of ran over. But otherwise, all is good.
Good.
Horrible start to the evening.
I know, it's so miserable, isn't it? Out there. Okay then, so I'll catch up. We'll probably catch up somewhere tomorrow. I can't think where, but I'm sure there's something that we overlap on.
There's something going on, and if not by email, I'm sure.
Yeah, okay then.
All right,
Have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.